Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to another fine episode on Butito and Cupola. We have a lot of work to do. We're actually going to put down the foundations for the actual greenhouse, and for good reason, too. We have switched entirely over to the spindly grub fruit plant, quite frankly, because it's the only plant that'll survive in our hot base. And our base is still hot because this thermo aqua tuner is running overtime trying to cool this down. It's probably, if I were to guess, going to take a dormancy period of this cool steam vent. Not real sure. Right now, the brine comes out about 47 degrees, and then by the time it's down here, it's 55, and then it gets shuffled through here, and then it's going back in at about 59. So we still got a lot of cooling work to do in here, but what will be easier is just cooling a greenhouse. So we can cool the greenhouse and keep it to an exact temperature that we want. In fact, we can even set different levels to different temperatures to grow different plants. So the greenhouse is going to be a large project. So we've cleaned out this area between videos. Now we're going to clean out this area, because I think this whole thing right here is going to be the greenhouse. Now we do have this one building here, so it might have to be a little bit higher. In fact, we might go all the way over. Not sure yet exactly how it's going to look, but we're going fancy. And I mean fancy. We're talking temperature controlled levels. We're talking light control. We're going to grow every species in the galaxy in there. And what's furthermore, even more interesting, is in the last update, it looks like they've actually added in some of these strain things. So you can see by clicking on the farm tile, it brings up a mutation list. Like, which mutation do you want to plant? Well, this is the standard original mutation, which is the 101 for this. So it's very interesting. There's going to be lots of different strains and species of each plant, and we're going to get to know them all. Another little minor update is they changed the what was it? The atomic research. Can't even remember the name of it now, but now it's the materials study terminal. They also updated the art a little bit for it, and changed around some of the research in here. Some of it was moving and shifting some of the required text, and others was just the addition of new equipment. For instance, the diamond press. You can now take carbon and turn it into diamond. It's pretty cool. So I took the liberty of queuing up some dig commands. This is going to take a little bit. In the meantime, I'll be spending my time making sure the dupes don't trap themselves, kill themselves, entomb themselves. You know, all the wonderful things that dupes tend to do. Why don't we go check on Gupola? And it looks like we have found a carbon dioxide vent. That is absolutely no help. Thank you. We need the sulfur vent. There's a natural gas geyser. Yeah, we're going to keep searching around. We got to find the sulfur. We got to find the sulfur geyser vent because we need a way to feed our grub fruit. And right now, we're doing okay in Butito as far as sulfur. We got 11 tons, so we have a little bit to survive. But we're going to need a lot more for this to be the sustainable crop for the near future. Let's do some searching, and I'll be right back. So I just got the message that one of the duplicates is trapped, but it doesn't allow you to click on it. So now I got to figure out, wait a minute. Ty, how did you do this? Okay, you got some oxygen left, so it's not that much of a hurry. We are just going to have to dig down, aren't we? What do we have available here? We have some sandstone. So why don't we just take some ladder? Here we go. This should work. Set the priority to, like, let's say 8. Here we go. Build yourself to freedom, buddy. Are we giving up already? You have more sandstone. Sandstone, ladder. Sandstone, ladder. Oh, at least somebody's coming. Oh, now Ty's sleeping on a ladder. That can't be comfy. As soon as he gets unlocked, yep, he'll wake up. He's going to go to the bathroom. Now, whether or not he makes it, You know, that is just... We're going to have to see. So close. You can do it, buddy. There we go. And just like that, Ty is safe. Alright, back to the large digging project. Over on Cupola, we keep making more and more of a mess. I put some hard tiles here, that way we can get the rest of this polluted water over here. I'm not too worried about the mixing of the water and the polluted water. I turned this pitcher pump off. And so this pitcher pump will be used to collect water and polluted water. And yes, even though the dupes, manage to find creative ways to kill themselves and get trapped, somehow they're able to get the exact type of water out of the pitcher pump. So we'll use that for a little bit. And right now, I still believe there's not too much water. I think they'll be able to still use the pitcher pump. But just in case, I think we'll be on the ready to drop this. We also have a digging project that just finished up, and look what we found. A beautiful liquid sulfur geyser. Now here's the bad thing. The liquid sulfur comes out at a balmy 165 degrees. So we're going to have to cool it down. Luckily for us, there is a beautiful ice biome sitting right here. The problem is, the ice biomes don't last forever, and we're looking for infinite sustainability. We're going to have to figure out a way to bring the liquid sulfur down in temperature to where we can use it in our plants. Now, the only thing we get over here, when you click on it, they've actually added a couple more descriptions on the geysers themselves. You can see that it turns into a solid down at 115 degrees. So that's the first step, is making it into a solid. I'm thinking that even though Weezeworts are really bad at what they do, if we can figure out a way to make these sustainable, we might be able to make a permanent chill box. Now, all this being said, we could just put a thermal aqua tuner and make our own cool box, but I'm trying to step outside the box. And we're going to need an infinite sustainable source of phosphorite anyways, because we're going to be fertilizing some plants. So we have a lot to figure out. I don't know how we're going to manage this one. We may just resort to using the ice biome for now, and then going back down to the thermal aqua tuner and steam turbine setup. Another issue that's came up because our main base is too warm to sustain crops is that our thimble reeds have now halted. So we had to put a liquid reservoir here, because otherwise what ends up happening is all this polluted water backs up and, the potties don't work. So what we're going to do is we are going to recycle this water. Now, this is going to sound quite a bit disgusting. So any of the water that can't get sieved is going to come out through here. Right now, that's how it works. In our future way of doing it, we are going to, we're going to clean all of the polluted water, put it into a chlorine room so it kills all the germs, and then dump it into our clean water supply. Right now we're vacuuming out this room. This is going to be our clean room. We're going to drop a little bit of bleach stone in it and fill it with chlorine, and then all the polluted water that comes in here will be cleaned, and then we'll figure out how we're going to sieve it and all that stuff afterwards. Great idea, huh? All right, here's our current system. This is going to turn some dupe's stomach, but they don't need to know what's actually going on. All right. So the water comes in fresh, goes into the bathrooms. The bathrooms get rid of the polluted water, goes into the water sieve, and gets cleaned, and then comes back down and fills the bathrooms. Well, once the bathrooms are full, the way the mechanics on the bridge work is, if this line is full, the rest of the water will go down this pipe. It'll then sit in this awesome liquid reservoir. As you can see, there's 1 or 2 germs in it. 1 or 2. But what we can do is drop a little piece of bleach stone in the storage bin. And now you can see there's nothing but chlorine in here. Which this is, it's only 100 kilos, right? That's it. Just 100 kilos. And look at those germs drop. Isn't that beautiful? And it's almost 100% clean. Now that we have clean water, quote unquote, we can dump it back into our normal supply. And now we have a water positive process from using the bathroom. Now, the only other trick is not taking this out until all the germs are gone, because it'll keep adding this, and it'll keep adding more and more water to it, which then adds to the germs, and chlorine does its thing. So here's a little trick for an easy water lock. What we do is we just throw water in here, right? And everybody thinks that you have to mix so much water and fill the whole thing up, and it takes a really long time. Make sure we click enable auto bottle. But what we're actually going to do is put just enough water in here, probably just one bottle full, and then put a block right here in the center. That will spread the water to all three of these tiles. Then we delete that block, and then all of a sudden we have these three little parts of water. So far, I've never seen this water lock break. Normally, if there's too little bit of liquid, the dupes will step in it, and then sometimes it'll shift around, and yada, yada, yada. And then obviously, if it's too hot, the water will vaporize, and that's not good. Here's little Jay dropping off some water. And now we can uncheck the auto bottle. We don't want any more water from there. Put one tile in here. Even with this is blocking only 2 tiles of water, this is still blocked. As you can see, gas can't come in and out because of that water there. So now we have this. You can see Ty just dropped off the block. This is good, except dupes can't get in and out. So now we just got to destroy it. All we use that block is to spread the water through these 3 tiles. And as soon as they destroy that block, well, then it kind of separates. This will eventually fall down. There it goes. And now we still have a good seal. See, this is a vacuum, so no heat's going to transfer through there. Heat can transfer diagonally, but it's not really the heat we're concerned about. This is a very simple lock. We're just trying to make sure that we can get into this room and it be a vacuum. Then we're going to destroy all this, and I've got some other ideas. Oh, we're already a vacuum? Now we can destroy this one. And now we have a bigger room with nothing but just chlorine. Alright, this is what we finished up with. Because there used to be a mechanic where if you had enough of these liquid reservoirs coming through, what would happen is the germs would come through here and basically be halved every time they made a jump. It doesn't look like the water actually hits the liquid reservoir now. It just goes straight on through the pipes. So what we've done here is set up a little valve system. This germ sensor checks and makes sure, hey, are there any germs inside this pipe? If there are, turn off this valve. Right now, you can see the germ sensor is not detecting any germs. It says current ambient germ 0, so it's sending this valve a green signal. See, it just stopped right there. It's noticing 47 germs. Now, whether or not those 47 germs will go down by being in this pipe, I am not sure. We're going to have to figure that out some too. But once the germs are clean, the liquid shutoff turns on and then dumps the water into here. So it looks like now the only challenge is it doesn't look like the chlorine is affecting germs in this pipe. Alright, it looks like we have a good system now. What we did is we put a pass-through on this valve that sends it right back through the chain again. So as you can see, by the time the water comes all the way through all these reservoirs, if it's still dirty, it passes through this liquid shutoff and goes right back through the system again to go back through the reservoirs and get cleaned. Once it is finally clean, it'll pass it on through the liquid shutoff and into our water supply. Now, we will have to have an extra here because eventually this is all going to fill up with nice clean water, and it'll probably be to send it into this water supply. But for right now, this is all the water the dupes are going to drink, because the only place for a pitcher pump, or the only place that we have a pitcher pump for regular water, is right in here. Beautiful system. And as you can see, it looks like this water is not clean enough yet, so it's going right back through. pretty neat. Now, what I'm guessing has to happen is there has to be enough water in here for the chlorine to take effect. So we'll see how much this water actually goes through the system. Let's speed it up a little bit. Everybody's using the bathroom. More water is coming in. And right there, you can see some water made it out. And the assumption is this is clean water. Remember how we were looking for an infinitely sustainable source of phosphorite? It just dawned on me. Our Drekos produce the phosphorite after they eat the mealwood. What does it take to upkeep mealwood? Dirt. How do you make dirt infinitely sustainable? Polluted water. When you boil polluted water, you're left with dirt. Looks like we might have a solution for infinitely sustainable wheezeworts. There's another new change in the skill tree. These crafty devils figured out how to make the building and construction line viable again. They added something called demolition. And at your tier 3 I guess it's construction 1, then 2, and then you learn demolition. And it gives you the ability to demolish gravitas buildings. We noticed it because I had clicked this to destroy, and it says, hey, this is a demolition errand, and no one in your colony has that ability. Very cool. So looking through our dupes, we actually have 2 duplicants that actually... looking through our dupes, we have 2 duplicants that have the... they love to do the building stuff. One is Strategy Master, but Strategy Master is already going to be a mechatronics engineer. In comes Meemaw. Meemaw, who we did have doing art and a little bit of doctoring, apparently loves to build too. So why don't we just let her demolish to her heart's content? As you can see, by adding the demolition tier, it only raised her morale requirement to 13. She's got a morale of 20, so we're well within range there. And now she gets the awesome new demolition hat. How cool is that? Hey, Meemaw, got something for you to do. There you go. You can even demolish the lockers and everything now. This is just phenomenal. Soul Wolf Rider on Cupola is running behind on his errands and chores. As you can see, the bog buckets haven't gotten their beautiful polluted water. So I think we're actually gonna activate the old Cryo Tank 3000 and see who pops up. Cross your fingers that it's not an absolutely worthless dupe. So we defrosted friend. Now we just wait and see who we get. Oh, we got a Bubbles. I love Bubbles. Let's see how Bubbles is. Bubbles isn't bad. She's only 1,683 cycles old. I mean, that young and dupe age, right? She is a shabby dresser, so she got the negative to decor, but she is a cook. She likes gourmet, and she's got a green thumb. Which means we're going to be able to use the old grill. Now, apparently her only desires are in tinkering, but we have somebody now that can run a grill. So as soon as she gets some skill points, we're going to be cooking up some of our beautiful... We're going to be able to cook up some of our paku when they pass, and maybe even some bog buckets. I think you can you cook the bog buckets? You can make some swampy delights out of that bog jelly. Oh, yes. That has to be the most fitting food name for this dump, right? There you go. Eat some swampy delights. But we brought Bubbles around, so now we can finish up some other projects, too. Almost forgot, we gotta add Bubbles a bed. Also grab a mess table here. Now, the thing is, though, the 2 bubbles can never meet. I mean, what would happen if 2 bubbles meet? That's gotta be, some sort of collapse on the space-time continuum or something. The 2 bubbles can't meet. So this Bubbles is definitely gonna stay on old Cupola. This old system is pretty much became obsolete, so we're gonna go ahead and deconstruct this. And while we're at it, we're probably going to seal ourselves in here somehow, because it'd be good to be able to get through the rest of this biome here. As you can see, our dupes have been very, very, very busy. We've got most of the top half of the asteroid planetoid dug out. We've left the barrier here. As you can see, it's still negative 60 degrees, which is all good. We found a little water bucket here, and we've been slowly pumping it out into the bottom of our base, so down here. We could have done it a little bit quicker by running the old pipes and, liquid pumps and everything, but, this is not as efficient, but, when all else fails, dupe labor is king. So we're burning through all this. In fact, we actually got to build another ladder down to get through all this. And it looks like next episode we will be fully dedicated to just building the greenhouse. Now, over on Cupola, we have made a little bit of work. We made a little bit of progress with the addition of Bubbles. Bubbles and Wolf Rider are getting along swimmingly, and I've been able to catch up a lot more on the chores that we've had going. Cleaning this up just a little bit. Got plenty of water, plenty of bog buckets going, and we're soon going to be cooking some swampy delights. Gonna need to double this up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that will not do, because you need 5 bog buckets per duplicate. And once again, the way you can figure that out, clicking on the bog bucket, and you can see it creates 1,840 calories every, 6.5 cycles? So then we take our 1,840 and we divide it by 6.6 cycles, and you get about 278 calories per cycle. Well, we know a duplicate needs 1,000 calories per cycle, so about 4 bog buckets, if every time it's done growing, it's being harvested and then replanted quickly. So we just keep it safe with 5 bog buckets. We turned all these on a priority of 6 to make sure that Bubbles knows, hey, we need to go take care of our bog buckets. In fact, why don't we go over to priorities, go down to Bubbles number 2 over on Cupola, and make sure that she's allowed to do the cooking. We don't really need any research here, so that can stay. But we also want her to prioritize the farming. There we go. That should work out well. In fact, we can now bring these down to a priority of 5, because with her prioritizing it, she's always going to do those first. Now that we have all this cut out, we are ready to actually dig into this. Now, unfortunately, this is going to come out at 165 degrees. It's going to hurt if it's not dormant. It says it's dormant right now, so I'm hoping that we have enough time to dig it out, analyze it, and that'll be that. The system is, right now, the liquid sulfur is going to pour down into here, and that's pretty much it. We're going to fill this tank up, and then we're going to look at cooling it. We have some ideas. We might be able to use the Weezeworts, but for right now, we'll let the biome cool it itself, and as soon as it becomes manageable, we'll scoop it out and send it over to the new colony. But the dupes aren't going to be able to do anything to that for a very long time, because coming out at 165 degrees is going to be a bit too much. Alright, we'll let old Wolf Rider analyze this. For some reason, Wolf Rider wouldn't come and analyze this, and I had remembered that our priorities, we had Wolf Rider X'd out on research. We may not consider analyzing this research itself, but that is what it is. Now that we've corrected it, Wolf Rider is busy analyzing, which is good, because we need to figure out how much sulfur is going to come out of this so we can figure out how much food we can maintain. Hopefully, it's going to be able to chill pretty quickly. We will see. Remember how we were saying that we could feed mealwood to the Drecos? Well, we just got one better. We can also feed balm lilies to them. Balm lilies don't take anything to grow other than just to be sitting in a environment that has chlorine. We're doing some tests here, and this is a little too cool for it, right? Balm lilies enjoy that 35 to 85 degrees. But like I said, on our greenhouse, we're going to be able to dictate the temperature per level. So that's going to be good. And I think we've just found our way to become infinitely sustainable with phosphorite, because we can just keep feeding Drecos the balm lilies, and they'll keep producing the phosphorite. Then we can take that phosphorite and feed it to the wheezeworts. And then over on Gupola, we can make sure those wheezeworts stay busy cooling down our liquid sulfur, which we then turn right back into our food through the grubfruit plants. I think it's all good. Now, next episode, we will start working with this liquid sulfur geyser, and we finally are going to get to set up the beautiful and mysterious greenhouse. This will be the greenhouse that sustains us and will become, quite frankly, a universal attraction. All the dupes all over the galaxy are going to want to come and see. Stay tuned for that. I hope you had fun this episode. I know I did. Talk to you soon.